Hello and welcome back to another episode of our conversations with NBA legend and pioneer Sam Stith. Sam, thank you for being here today and welcome back.
Welcome. I love it. This is fantastic. Appreciate it.
So, Sam, some of the questions that we received is people want to hear about your beginning, the beginning of your story. Now, I know you were born in Virginia and moved up to Harlem and eventually made it to the NBA. So, why don't you go ahead and tell us about that story?
Well, we were born in Virginia, my two sisters and my brother. Um, for a living, my grandmother used to pick cotton, and she'd take us along with her. And my brother, we thought it was a joke. We throw cotton back and forth, but realized that it was a living for her, dragging that bag and stuff. And my mother and father worked in various jobs, driving taxis, working in the factories. And unfortunately, my father was murdered when we were young, leaving 4 kids. And we stayed, my grandmother had a nice house. This was a big house. It didn't have any plumbing, electricity, two outhouses, well, but we had an apple orchard with about 12 apple orchards. And we sold those, to make a living. The train was, they sister was go get the coal off the track for heat. And my mother decided to move to Harlem for a better job because her sister lived there. So what happened was, in 1947, we moved to Harlem. At that time, Harlem was sort of dangerous, but we didn't want to aware of it till we got there. And on our grammar school team, Mr. Rickstone, the coach, had us come to the gym to learn how to play basketball. We never saw basketball till that time. Never saw basketball. So we go up to the gym to learn to play this game of basketball. My brother picked it real quick because he was gifted, and it took me a little bit longer, but I got interested and started doing it. So after that, we went to PS 139 in Harlem, where a lot of great players went there, and we started playing on that team and really improved our game. And it was a team in the neighborhood called the Lucky Sevens, right? And they had two teams, juniors and seniors, and we were on the juniors. We're so good, we ended up being the varsity to the point they recruited us to come on to the varsity. We didn't like it, but we had no choice in the matter. So we're going to varsity and undefeated, junior high school undefeated. And then someone invited us to play in a game out of St. Francis Prep, big time private high school in Brooklyn. So we got on the train, went out there, and walked to this nice, beautiful gym, guys with nice white uniforms on, and we beat them. They had a clock running like a regular game, referees, and we beat them. And the game as well as physically. So after the principal, Brother Tim, came to us and asked could we be the first African Americans to play at the school and the league, give us scholarships. We totally accept that. So we went there, and they put Tom on the freshman team. They put me right up to the varsity and skipped over the junior varsity. So unfortunately, on the varsity, I was like the 10th man. I only got in doing garbage time. And Tom was on the freshman team, killing them. So they decided to move him up to the varsity, which made it a problem because he became the 10th man and I became the 11th man. And this happened for the whole year. So during the year, I finally was like fed up, and I was showing my frustration. And the principal says, be patient. And that went right through me. I changed my attitude. But here's the problem. During the game, the students be yelling, put them brothers in, which didn't help our relationship with the team. And they kept it like that for the whole year. Daily News said if these brothers on the team next year, they're going to go undefeated. In the following year, we were 31-0, All-Americans. Second year, 31-1, national and city championships. And went on, became the best brother I could ever play in high school ball. When it came time to colleges, we decided where to go. Since the Franciscans did so much for us, we decided to go to a Franciscan school. St. Francis College in Brooklyn was our choice, but they didn't have a campus. So we went to St. Bonaventure, which I never heard of, by the way, but someone recommended we go there. And I got up there and met the coach, and to my surprise, he asked me to work out with the varsity, like a tryout. And I'm thinking, I just came off of undefeated All-American, I got to try out. And I did. I did okay, and they offered me the scholarship. He says, I like the way you can fit into our system. The only problem, the system, he was 15 and 40, and I don't want to be in that system, but we decided to go there. And when we got on campus, I realized I was first up there. Only one other African American in the whole school, and I was the first one to play on the varsity. And did all right, broke some records. Then Tom came and changed the whole atmosphere of the school. Uh, we were so successful that they started calling us the greatest brother act in college basketball. And he's All-American, first team All-American, consensus All-American. We both, in my senior year, we averaged 50 points a game. The ones that ever did it then and not since then. So there it was. So we had a successful college career and brought national attention to an unknown school. No one had hardly heard of school till we got there. Next thing you know, Bonaventure. We got so good. We used to play in the Armory, right? 1,900 seats. We got so good to bring national attention to the school. 5 years later, they had to build a whole new arena, to see people. We were playing in the Armory, and at daytime, they opened up the doors so the fumes could come out from the truck. And we were playing there. And then they ended up building a 6,000-seat arena. Someone should call it the arena that Stith built, but that's another story. That was about it.
Wow, that's definitely a story that a lot of people just don't know when it came to the history of you and Tom and the family coming from Virginia all the way up to New York and then up to Buffalo, New York, in fact, going to St. Bonaventure to play there. And then you made it back down to the New York Knicks. Tell me about that. Did you go to the Knicks first, or was there somewhere else that you went?
What happened was, no one was really looking to get drafted in the NBA back then. And on draft night, it was a knock at my door, and one of the students said, by the way, you just got drafted by the Cincinnati Royals. They played shooting guard next to Oscar Robertson. And I went like this, thank you. No jumping up and down, like no big deal. In the meantime, I had played against George Steinbrenner, had an industrial team. And so I didn't bother with Cincinnati because Mr. Steinbrenner offered me more money without even me talking to the NBA to go into it. They called it Industrial League, ABL. That was the league where players went to, and they worked while they were playing. They were supplemented by the owners, and they worked. And Mr. Steinbrenner owned the team in Cleveland. Best coach in the world, John McClendon, was the coach. So what I did, I signed with them. And but prior to going there, by those days, we had to go into the service, either get drafted, or the other way around. We joined the National Guard. So Mr. Steinbrenner got me a National Guard, which was 6 months. So I came out and joined the team and played. That year, we were 86-5 and won the AAU championship in Denver, Colorado. And then after that, they were going to the new league, and then the Knicks called me and offered me a contract for the team I grew up with, loving and watching and admiring. So instead of staying with Cleveland, I went to the Knicks.
Okay. So, Sam, I know you went to the ABL to start off with, but whatever happened with the Eastern Basketball League? How did you get involved in the Eastern Basketball League?
All right. During that time, now keep in mind, the NBA only allowed but so many African Americans in the league. All right.
Now, what year are we talking that?
1960.
Okay.
1960.
Okay.
Well, before that, but when I got there, they didn't allow that many African Americans in the league. It was a quota system. You only had but so many on the team. So a lot of those guys who didn't go to the NBA went down to the Eastern Basketball League, right? Tough league when I found out when I got there. So after my Knicks stint was over, I went down to the Eastern Basketball League, and some of those teams could beat the NBA teams. 90% was African Americans who wouldn't get drafted in the NBA, who qualified to play, but not race-wise. Unbelievable league. I mean, tough. By the way, the scores would be 160 to 140, non-defense. And they had 8 teams in the league. And I played with Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. But it was a tough league, tougher than the NBA. And a lot of those guys should have been. Matter of fact, a couple of them tried out for the NBA. Matter of fact, my training guy in my camp, He should have made the team, but they cut him. And Eastern League is a phenomenal league. Great ball players.
Wow.
A lot of fights too.
Well, I'm sure. Different times, Sam, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's going to conclude our episode for today. And I appreciate your time. I think next time what we want to talk about is how about we start talking about the Rucker League,
Yeah.
Harlem Wizards. I also believe that you have some information about a 1951 basketball scandal. And then I know that as you've retired from the NBA and from your career in banking and finance, that you've gone on to helping kids by doing some camps and stuff like that. So let's talk about that on the next episode.
Look forward to it.
Until then, go ahead and like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the other side.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Appreciate this.